Era.
From eCarrierCheck. I'm excited to be here today. It's Friday. Happy Friday.
Happy
man.
Friday,
What's
man.
going on, brother?
Nothing.
How was your week?
It's been a good week, man. Oh my gosh. Like this month has just been insane. People are ready to start crushing their goals, working towards their goals. I'm really excited for today. I love cold calling.
Yeah.
We're going to give you guys some realistic feedback here. And, it's nice because, Jared, he has done his time in this industry. So sometimes people think you do it really good. You've done your time, man. So
yeah, I don't know if here's my personal opinion about my sales level of experience. Is I've always just stayed consistent.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm really that suave here.
Yeah.
I'm not that smooth.
Yeah.
But I can connect with people.
Yep.
As far as from a cold calling experience or thought process is, if I stay consistent and if I add some value to them and I sound a little bit different than maybe what everyone else is saying,
right,
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
How often do you get on the phone with somebody and they just talk so quick? Hey, hey, what can I help you with? Or you hear stuff in the background. It's just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tyler Killer's on. What's up, brother? How are you?
Hey, man.
It's super good to have you on. I'm actually calling for a small carrier today. So you'll love this. I'll get into that a little bit. But I think it's really reading the situation. When I was in outside sales, I walk in and I could see their posture, right? I could see their facial expressions and that they were annoyed with me, or whatever. And so you kind of understood that sense. But this is kind of an interesting sense, is that you have to hear their tone, the way they're breathing, how fast are they talking? Yeah. Do they sound annoyed? There's so many things. Hey, good morning, Kim. Nice. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Kim.
Definitely, YouTube is where we do a lot of our content. Definitely hit subscribe, check it out. We try to put out a lot of content and make sure that we're helping people. Our number one goal at eCarrierCheck is, how do we help people grow?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's what we're here to do. Let's help each other crush our goals. And my few cents on what you're kind of talking about, and my encouragement to other people is, I always tell people, if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it didn't happen for me overnight either.
Yeah.
I've looked up to mentors, reached out to people. I think reading people's, how they talk over the phone, their posture, you can start getting a good feeling for over the phone.
Yeah.
You'll become a pro.
Yeah. I think you also just have to be whimsical, have fun with it.
Yeah.
You're going to get told no. Who knows how these are going to go today? Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get told no. We could have this show could be done in 12 minutes if these calls don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that you just have to go out there and you just have to try. You have to be in a whimsical spirit.
Yeah.
We talk about mental toughness a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that you have to do. You have to stay consistent. You have to continue to encourage yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I love putting messages around me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I get up in the morning and, I give myself a high five. Shout out to Mel Robbins for that thought process. And I just encourage myself. I got to give myself some grace.
Yeah. I think that'll help, just going throughout your daily basis, you talk about eat the frog, sometimes it can be hard to do the toughest thing first. So just try to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
I know I'm not the only one with phone anxiety.
Yeah.
I get anxiety picking up the phone all the time. And, a lot of the people I talk with, they seem to have that issue. And I think once you start doing something consistently, it just feels normal.
Yeah.
So.
I had an opportunity to make some calls with some freight brokers earlier this week.
Yep.
And there was a new guy in there, and I gotta tell you about a couple of his calls.
Okay.
there's some strategy here of, okay, who do I need to talk to? In my mind, the strategy, with these calls, I'm just going to ask for shipping. I'm going to keep this simple. The bigger the company, the more sophisticated it gets, the more channels you got to go through. But let's just, for the sake of the conversation, we're asking for somebody in shipping. If you can find somebody, perfect. Sometimes cold calls are meant just to figure out who you need to talk to, so that you sound smart the second time. Right.
Yep.
But this new broker picks up the phone, and you got to ask yourself where cold call confidence comes from, right? I feel like I could write a book about cold call confidence. Your ultimate goal is to quit talking and let them talk. However, if you are not prepared for that call, you're going to continue to talk because it feels awkward to you and you're trying to fill a space.
That's good. That's a good point.
Right?
Yep.
So you need to ask a question, shut up.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I like that.
And I think something that new broker is working on, and his diamond's a little rough right now, but it'll get polished. He's a sharp kid. It's one of those things where he needs to understand when to pause, when to breathe, slow down your conversation. These are all things that you just need to do. When it comes to cold calling, you just need to slow down your conversation and go.
Yeah, I like that feedback. And for those of you that, I really encourage you, look up open-ended questions. That's something that really helped me. I actually learned this in the mental health field where I used to work at too as well. But open-ended questions, if you really want to try to get people to talk more, and kind of what you encourage, those open-ended questions really do help.
So let me give you the scenario today. I'm talking, there's a local carrier here that I love. Super good guy. This guy's been in the industry forever, but he may not be, open to making calls. But because of the level of service that he provides, right? He has such an established list of clients.
Yeah, he's got relationships.
Relationships everywhere. His relationships consist of a few things. And I want to break this down mainly because I want to explain to you who I'm calling and why, right? So you can hear my thought process. He has 2 really specific direct clients right in his hometown where his trucks are at, right? Excuse me. And he's got 2 really specific clients. They give him loads every week. He's got clients in his network or triangle, if you will. He likes to run from Nebraska to Colorado to maybe South Dakota, a little bit of Wyoming, back into Nebraska, right? Okay. And when he gets out of his network, it has one of those things where he may not have the amount of clients that he needs. And this is what we're working on today. The other side of this is he's got a lot of relationship with direct shippers. I don't care how big you are. If you got 1 or 2 trucks, there's relationships out there to be built. Right? Is, I hear it from carriers all the time. Well, I only have 1 truck. Then kill it with that 1 truck.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kill it.
Though they're out there for sure. It's just picking up the phone and like you said, you might get told no, but you call on that right day, they're going to probably need your services and stay consistent.
And I think what's been really interesting with this guy is that he knows when to say no.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is that he loves the states I mentioned. He'll venture out into Idaho and Montana a little bit, maybe North Dakota, South Dakota, but those are his outer exteriors. He's not going to California. He's not going to Washington. He's staying in those areas. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So know your network. Yeah. As a carrier, know your network, know your costs so that you can make decisions immediately on the phone. Yeah. Right. Hey, where do I need to be at for a rate per mile? And this guy knew right away. That's right. Good. So we're going to call on 4 direct shippers. Okay. He's got a summer project coming up where in May, June, July, he's going to be spending a little more time in Idaho. Okay. He's also got a kind of a situation where he's going from Colorado to South Dakota quite a bit. Okay. And so we're going to call a company up in South Dakota and see if we can get him back home as well.
Love that.
Right. So we got 4 calls today. I'm super jacked. We're going to just put it on speaker, see where this goes. And hopefully we get him a new account. Right?
Yeah.
And
that's the goal.
The goal is, just to stay consistent. So I know I'm making these calls today. I'll probably help him out next week to do follow-ups and things like that. Maybe not on a Friday Live, but consistency is how I've built any sales revenue that I've ever brought.
It's fair.
It's all consistency, right?
Yes,
so just some thoughts. So let's hammer out some calls. Nate, real quick, I got all 4 of these leads off eCarrierCheck.
Yeah.
What was interesting, just to give you an idea of how I searched for it, is I went flatbeds. I looked up like Rocky Mountains. I looked up, and we're not going to get on and show the websites here. We're just going to make the calls. But, a Smile and Dial, honestly, at least if you get on some of their websites, you'll see, do they have a load board, or do they have a point of contact, or, we've been on these calls before where we found the logistics group, right? And we were able to talk to one of them gals, right?
Yeah. So what's nice is what you did. You were searching shippers that essentially will utilize that type of equipment, which is flatbed. What's nice with the eCarrierCheck, you can not only source by equipment location, but you can do keywords.
Yeah,
it's really nice. You can get creative. But like Jared said, what he did is hop on their sites and just kind of prospect.
Yeah, just
kind of get a good feel of what they do. So for those of you that are new, I know we got some new reviewers here. Like I said, we're not going to show the site today, but if you do want to see the site, go to eCarrierCheck.com, schedule a demo, and I'll send you a recorded demo, and we can chat it out if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I used the keyword Rocky Mountain. I also looked up in Idaho where he's going. Looked for flatbed shippers. There were so many flatbed shippers. I actually had to take time to kind of whittle this list down, which I love.
Yeah.
And then I took just a couple seconds, jumped on their website. And so I guess we could jump on the people's websites, but maybe not ECC today. So, but this is where I got all these leads. I love the sourcing possibilities. Yep. I could have called local brokers up there, but we're really trying to find, he goes, I really need to find more direct shippers up there so I can make a quick call and say, hey, I'm in Rexburg this week or Coeur d'Alene this week. What do you got?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's my goal here. So we're going to call Rocky Mountain Construction.
Love that.
Rocky Mountain Construction is this is kind of interesting. You'd never guess what they do. They literally make old wooden roller coasters.
Oh gosh.
And so they're out of Idaho. And so I need to be prepared to talk about the geographic aspect of Idaho.
Yeah.
They're in Hayden, and so I'm not sure exactly where Hayden's at. So let me get a little more prepared here, just to make sure.
And Jelani, what's up, brother? Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, Hayden's up by Coeur d'Alene, which is where he's kind of going. So we're gonna call up there and see where this goes. Okay, here we go. We're just going to call and ask for shipping, see where it goes.
Sounds good.
Thank you for calling Rocky Mountain Construction. If you know your party's extension, enter it now. If you would like to be directed to the front office, please dial 0 or remain on the line.
Okay. Let's do that. I mean, that's the only option.
Your call is being transferred. Please hold.
Kind of interesting. Let's look them up real quick if you don't mind. I don't know if you can do that.
What are they called? Rocky Mountain
Construction. See if there's just a different, or actually I can do it on my phone.
Hello, you have reached Rocky Mountain Construction. We are sorry we are unavailable to answer your phone at this time. Please leave us a voicemail and we'll get back to you at our earliest convenience. Thank you. Goodbye.
Let's see if I can find another phone number maybe for somebody a little more direct.
You want to pull their side up on you?
Yeah, I got it on my phone.
Okay.
Let's take a look and see if we can get something interesting about their site. Now, as far as voicemails go, I'm a big believer in leaving voicemails. I didn't leave a voicemail there, but I am a big believer in leaving voicemails. And real quick kind of tips on voicemails. Keep them 20 seconds or less. Say your name, say your company's name, and why you're calling.
Okay.
And just be direct.
Okay.
You know, you don't need to dance around anything. Hey, I'm a freight broker from California. We move a lot of freight in your industry, or I move a lot of freight up in your area, and I'd like to see if you may have some freight out of there. Give me a call back at 308, and then leave an action item if you can. If you can think through that. Sometimes writing out a voicemail is the best, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask you. So after you leave your voicemail, your action item, what does that look like? Is that an email? Is that hey, I'll call you back around this time?
Yeah. You either do two things, right? If you're good on the phone, I like to, say that I'm going to send him an email as well.
Okay.
And there's my action item, right?
Okay.
If you're not good on the phone and you just spit all over,
yeah.
which I'll be honest with you, I've left some of those voicemails really quick. It's one of those things where I'm sending an email and then, trying to set up a time with an action item in that email.
Okay.
Right. So, hey, and the email may look like this, like, freight broker or carrier, depending on what you do, in your area, and just kind of go from there. Don't get fancy. The fancier you get, I think, in my opinion, I think you keep it simple. Things are hard enough to make calls, right?
Fair. Yeah.
And so just keep things simple. That's my opinion.
Now
I'm going to try to, let me try calling them back with another. I think they have one other phone number here. So let me try calling this number. If not, we'll move to the next one.
Sounds good. Good input there.
Thank you for calling Rocky Mountain Construction. If you know your party's extension, enter it now. If you would like to be directed to the front office, please dial 0 or remain on the line.
Please enter the extension followed by the pound sign of the person you are trying to reach. 101 is not a valid extension. Please try again.
Didn't hurt.
Yeah, I figured I'd try. All right, we'll just push 0 and see if we can get somebody.
Please enter the extension followed by the pound sign of the person you are trying to reach.
Thank you for calling Rocky Mountain Construction. If you know your party's extension, enter it now. If you would like to be directed to the front office, please dial 0 or remain on the line.
Here, we'll just let's see if we can get somebody here.
Your call is being transferred. Please hold.
They may be a little short-staffed today or something.
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain, this is Amy.
Hey, Amy, this is Jared Ross over at Twin City Cartage. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I was hoping I could talk to somebody in shipping or somebody that may control any freight that's going out.
Well, I can let you know what we do. We have a private carrier that just works for us.
Okay.
And so we just contract with them because we ship roller coaster tracks. It's kind of complicated.
Sure.
Sometimes they drop off trailers and then we load them for 10 hours and then they come back the next day and pick them up because they're just down the street from us.
Okay, that's fair.
So that's kind of what we do.
I get that completely. Do they ever outsource any of their freight to here? My situation is I got a steel building. We're out of Western Nebraska with flatbeds, and I've got a steel building project coming up where I'm in Coeur d'Alene pretty much 3 times a week. And so I'm just trying to find some freight out of there. You know what I mean?
Some going out of there.
Yeah.
You can call them. They're called vice versa.
Okay. And
Out of Sagal, Idaho.
Vice versa. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure putting tracks and stuff, it's like you're playing Tetris with a flatbed, which is.
It's a Tetris.
Yeah.
And it takes hours because we can't scratch them, and we use a ton of wood that we have to cut, to size and make little things to hold them up. I don't know how to explain it. All the dunnage.
Some crazy dunnage. Yeah, some crazy dunnage.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
So it takes hours. So they're pretty patient with us, but a lot of times they'll drop off a trailer and they'll just wait, but it takes a long time.
Yeah, I get it. That's fair. Well, I tell you what, I will give them a call and see if there's an opportunity to work with them, and away we go. So
Okay, awesome.
Thank you. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Well, she was informative. A few things. I don't want to wait for 8 hours to pick up a load, right? I didn't think through that when I was thinking calling a roller coaster. I just got excited because it's a roller coaster.
We learned something
But
today.
very informative, right?
Yep.
She seemed very nice.
Yep.
You know, I was clear with what's going on, right? And away we go. Now, if I did want to, if I got to a point where, you know, none of these other ones work out or I can't seem to find loads out of there, it is Idaho. So it's not like they're manufacturing friggin' freight everywhere, right?
Right.
And there's the population is kind of like Nebraska. It's pretty minimal.
Yep.
So I really wouldn't say that was good. I mean, it was an okay call, right?
Yeah.
We talked to somebody, at least somebody answered, right?
Right.
But I definitely don't want to sit there and wait. So you do need to understand when a shipper is good for you and not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? More than likely, there are going to be shippers that you and them don't jive.
Yeah.
You just need to understand that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a big thing.
That's true.
So there's that.
Yeah.
So we're going to Mountain West Products next. They're actually a little bit bigger than normal. Mountain West Products. I'll just pull them up real quick. They essentially do like landscaping. They actually have a weird amount of locations, which this is kind of a double call for me here. Okay. They've got locations in like Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Utah, South Dakota, Minnesota. All of those states he's kind of been to.
Right.
He doesn't like to go out to the coast, but he's been to. He loves Salt Lake. He does a lot of Salt Lake stuff, so this works well in his network. So we're going to see what we can get. Now, our goal is to call Rexburg, Idaho, and just see kind of how things go. Okay. Yeah. Again, it's one of those things where their freight is up kind of on that border of Canada. So Coeur d'Alene is kind of up on that same area.
Okay.
And so we're just going to see kind of where this call goes. Okay. So I'm excited about this one. Again, it's landscaping products. They have a place in South Dakota. We may call, both places. Let's see. Funny enough, on their website, they have this thing called Active Load List. And then it says Mountain West Wholesale Company, no parking on loads, no parking or strapping loads near parked cars. I mean, they give you everything right on their website.
Yeah.
Trucks need to be full fuel before loading. Yeah. I mean,
this tells you how important it is to look through their website to get a good feeling.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this one even tells you, please make appointment for delivery before loading. Trucks need to be full. I mean, this is right on their website.
Yeah, this is good stuff to know. Yeah.
It's crazy. Right on their website. I love this. So they have a lady called Reagan Banta. They even have the email dispatch at, mwpllc.com, right? For booking loads out of Rexburg. So we're going to call, this, this number for booking loads out of Rexburg and see what we get. See how do we get set up, right? Because at the end of the day, that's the ultimate goal.
Right.
Let's get set up.
Yeah.
Let them know we're there. If it looks like we need a tarp, looks like we need to be full of fuel. Those are all simple things.
Yeah. And what's funny is a lot of that information is stuff you would ask over the phone.
Oh yeah. It's all right here.
Yeah. This is nice.
I love this.
I like this website.
So I like how clear they are.
Yep.
So let's give them a call and see where it goes. Now, more than likely, their freight costs, anytime you're hauling a commodity, have been lowered enough that sometimes they may be lower than what you want to haul for, right? But let's just see. Let's see where this goes, okay? Hey, this is Jared over at Twin City Cartage. How are you?
Good.
Hey, I got a steel building project coming up in May and June, and I'm going to be getting to Coeur d'Alene with my flatbeds 3 times a week. And I just wanted to see, how do you get set up with your company, or, do you have freight going back into the Dakotas or Nebraska, Colorado, Wyoming?
Yeah, we do. That'll be coming out of either Rexburg, Idaho, Piedmont, South Dakota, or Superior, Montana.
Okay. And how do you find carriers for those loads, or like how would I find out about those loads when you have them?
We run a load list off our website.
Okay. And is that something that anybody can see, or can I get set up to see it?
Yeah. No, anybody can see it. You just go to our website, mountainwestbark.com. you'll see active load list in the right-hand corner. You click on it, and then click on the load list updated, and we update it about every 2 hours.
Okay. Yeah, here you go. Okay. And yeah, I see you've got the rates on there and the phone numbers. Do you you even have one coming back to you have one coming back to Scottsbluff. I'm out of Gearing, but Scottsbluff Gearing are kind of the same area anyway. What do I need in order to set up with you, or how does it work to haul for you?
I just need your W-9 proof insurance and your authority.
Okay. That's pretty simple.
And then I'll send you our terms of payment paper. We're on a net 30 account.
Okay.
I have you something, and it gives you our AP email where you can send your PODs and invoices due. So.
Okay. And I see on your website, obviously we got to have our drivers full of fuel before loading. Looks like loads probably that I'm looking to haul would be needing to be tarped. Just trying to get back into Nebraska if I can, or South Dakota. So,
Yeah.
Are they always tarp? And what size of tarps do you need?
Not all of them are tarped. Anything over 500 miles, we make them tarp.
Okay.
4 to 6 footers are fine.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say he's only got 4 footer, so that helps my cause.
Yeah.
And what's the weight on these normally? Is it?
We try to load everything up to max.
40,
so if you're
47.
running a flatbed, yeah, 47, 48.
Do you have a scale on site?
Yes.
You do. Sweet. That's awesome.
At Piedmont, Superior, and Rexburg, we have scales on site. So.
Okay, cool. And what's your name, sir?
My name's Reagan.
You are Reagan. Okay, perfect. I saw your name on there. So, and then just email you. Essentially, you just need the W-9. We need my insurance. Anything out of the ordinary there, or what's the cost to load?
Just W-9 proof insurance and your authority.
Okay.
And then, once you send that over to me, we got a gal here that sets it up in the system. It don't take too long, so.
Perfect. Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, do you have adequate, areas to strap down there? I saw a large red letter saying no parking or strapping loads near parked cars. Are there a lot of parked cars where you're loading, or?
Well, here at Rexburg, when you pull in our gate, all our employees park up on the south side, and we've had some guys pull right up next to it and throw straps and throw right through the window of cars.
They're playing 500 and with their friggin' straps.
Yeah, throw them and freaking, we've had a couple broken windows. So,
shoot.
Right now room's tight because we're fully stocked, but it's usually they don't have no problems. They can pull off along the pallet strap, or I've seen a lot of guys pull down the road. We got an overpass. They pull under the overpass and strap them, or usually while the guys are loading them, the guys can throw most of their straps while they're getting loaded. And
sure.
Then they only have 3 or 4 left by the time they pull up to the scale and weigh, make sure they're all right on weight.
Last question for you, Reagan. Do you ever have just kind of sort of get, like, I know my schedule and I know when I'll be up there every week. Is there a way to plan out a week ahead? Like, is there any planning potentially that we could do without it just going on a load board and just say, hey, I'm going to be there Monday, Wednesday, Friday of next week. What do can we do more of a planning situation instead of a reactive situation like a load board?
Yeah, we can to a certain extent. It just depends on what we got. Like I do a lot of loads down to Utah and Idaho. So mine, I know I'm always going to have Utah loads, for the next week. Where you plan on pulling out of most of the time?
Well, Rexburg would probably be the most preferred. Occasionally Piedmont. But
Oh, okay.
most of the time, Rexburg, we're out of the Panhandle in Nebraska. I don't mind getting back to Salt Lake because I can get back to Nebraska really easily.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I got loads going to Utah every week. So
Are they Salt Lake or where do they go normally?
yeah, the Greater Salt Lake, Salt Lake, and I go clear down to Cedar City.
Ooh, okay, cool.
And then we got a customer in Vernal, Utah, Roosevelt. We do so. Yeah, I mean, I got loads going down to Salt Lake. And come February 1st, I'm gonna probably have about 50 to 60 loads going down there that week of the 1st.
Okay,
so,
cool. That's awesome.
And then it just goes hardcore after there. February, March, April, May, June. That's our Christmas. That's we're shipping everything. Landscaping season. So
are you?
And we're doing all the Home Depots, Lowe's, Ace Hardwares, and all the nurseries. My brother actually is the salesman for the state of Utah, so he's got all them nurseries down there that we ship to. So
how does that go?
Them are no tarp loads. It's only
Nice.
240 miles down in the Salt Lake area. So
right. How is that at Thanksgiving? I mean, do you kind of give each other heck or no? Is it?
No, we're pretty good.
You never know. How much are you paying on those down to Salt Lake?
My Salt Lake loads right now are running about $650 until we'll see what fuel does.
Right.
Then,
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
But
hey, what are your shipping hours? Just one last question. I know I've played 20 questions with you, but what are your shipping hours up there?
8 to 4. We like to have all the trucks in here by 4 o'clock. Because when it does get busy, we'll have a lot of trucks sitting here. Between 3 and 4, trying to get loaded. And it does take half an hour to load them. So
nice.
We like to have them all in the yard by 4 o'clock. So
okay.
We're not keeping office help here until 6 o'clock doing paperwork. But
you doing any like weekend stuff, or are you just Monday through Friday?
Just Monday through Friday.
Okay, perfect. That's awesome. Well, I have your email right here off the website, dispatch@mwpllc.com, right?
You bet.
You're the man. Reagan, I'll send this over to you, and I appreciate your time. And thanks for just being nice on the phone. So thanks.
You bet. Well, hopefully we can keep you rolling, and if you got trucks here and need to get down to Salt Lake, I'll have loads for you.
Cool. So, that's awesome. I love that. Thank you, Reagan. Nice talking with you. It was good. It was nice chatting. Enjoy your Friday, man.
Heck yeah, you too, man. Once I see your stuff, I'll get it in. We'll get you set up.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, bud.
Thanks.
Sounds
later.
Good, man.
Bye.
Thanks for the call.
Oh yeah.
You bet. Bye.
Man,
wow.
Wowzer.
That was awesome.
That one went really well.
Really well.
Just really informative. What an interesting guy. Now his rate may be a little bit light, but maybe we can press him a scotch. Right. It's Idaho. So he knows he has freight out of Idaho, and sometimes you just need to get out of Idaho.
That's fair.
Right.
I love how you had some really good questions, and I see some users on here too. You asked some very smart questions about the scale being on site.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people probably would think of that on the phone, and
that's fair.
So you start making these calls, you start to get a good feeling of what to be asking. So, but anyways, good call.
Yeah.
Loved your questions.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think too. Let's just take, he's got, some freight liners. If you've got chains, which you probably do because you're running that area, and you're full of fuel, depending on how heavy your cab and trailer are, you might only be able to get 46.5 on. Right. Or 46 on, not 47 or 40. He even mentioned 48 on there. So it's like, well, as long as you have a scale on site, you can load me to legal. Doesn't matter.
Right.
The guys will take anything. So I also, something that I tried to do is, I don't know if you noticed this, but I really tried to mimic his sort of character aspect of how he was talking. He kept saying man, and he kept saying, so I try to keep it more loose and not maybe as professional, just have a conversation.
Yeah, you could really get a good feel about
Right.
his tone of voice. So
Yeah.
I could tell you matched that
Yeah,
very well.
You try to mirror it. You can even hear how he's breathing. I know this is like you could hear him. You could hear that in the phone. So, I'm always a big fan of trying to mirror even breathing, which I know it sounds kind of crazy, but if you can slow down to his or go up to his, perfect.
Yeah.
You'll definitely get that. You'll get just a better feel. The nice thing with this, all I have to do is send over a W-9 insurance and authority, and I'm set.
Yeah,
that'll happen right after
awesome.
this call. So, I enjoyed that very much.
Great, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, let's do one more.
Yeah.
I know we're at 35 minutes. I appreciate everybody being on. Any questions, honestly, sales questions, any thoughts on eCarrierCheck? Obviously we're a sourcing platform. I got all these leads off eCarrierCheck. Usually I'd be calling brokers today, but I didn't want to call any brokers, but you can get them off of eCarrierCheck. If you're a carrier and you're watching this going, well, how do I find leads? Or, get off Google and find actual companies that we've seen bill of ladings on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And you know what's nice? I feel like he was almost waiting for your phone call.
Yeah, it felt like that, didn't it?
There's thousands of people out there waiting for us.
Yeah.
You're waiting for people like you to be calling.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree.
Yeah.
Honestly, that guy, I just had an absolute nice conversation. Rate, pitch, variance, absolutely. I mean, you kind of hit it on the head. So, absolutely. So, like I said, any questions? We're going to make one more phone call here, see where it goes. I'm hoping I have as good a luck because obviously now I found a fairly major shipper that can get me to down to Utah, which sounds perfect. I thought it was interesting that his brother worked for the company. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And he said his brother was a salesman.
That's awesome.
So it kind of gives you an idea of how the company structure is, maybe a little bit looser because you're hiring family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
So I just enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, heck yeah.
All right, let's keep going. TCC Materials is who we're calling. This is up in South Dakota. They've got, block mainly. Okay. On their website, it's not as clear, right, of who you talk to, what you do. They've got several different locations. They got several different companies, right, throughout South Dakota, eastern Nebraska. That helps me. Kansas, Iowa, Minnesota. They're kind of the opposite end of Mountain West, right? Mountain West went like this and up and over in the United States. This company is like this and going over. So it's just the opposite of it, which is good. My ultimate goal is to really get something out of that South Dakota area, Rapid City, South Dakota block right there. So, but if we can get set up, I feel good about that. It'll be interesting to see just a couple random observations from their website. It's a very formal website. They've got a lot of brands that they sell. Looks like they're a distributor of block, right? Which makes me go, okay, I can put this on a flatbed, right? Just for the sake of kind of clarifying that. But it looks like to me that potentially each location controls their own. And I'm just making some assumptions here. Now, I'm not going to do that assumption here, but it looks like that they have that. He's also picked up from here before in the past, but he never worked with them directly. So let's see what we can get as far as contacting them, and let's see if we can get an opportunity to get in touch with somebody. So
sounds good. While you're doing that, for everyone again that just showed up, look at the bottom of the screen. Check out eCarrierCheck.com. Schedule a demo. Check out our YouTube channel. Hit that like and the bell. Get a notification every time we go live.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely like that. And again, all these leads came right off eCarrierCheck in a very direct manner. I think, you can buy lead lists. We're on Facebook groups. We're on every Facebook group there is.
Constantly seeing
and
that.
There's lead lists, and there's nothing wrong with them, but I want to find somebody that I know has freight that's specific to an industry I like, specific to a equipment that I like, specific to a region of the country I like. Right. That's what I like.
Yeah. And another thing that's nice too, our demos are free. At least come check it out. You know what I mean? See what you could possibly be using.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. TCC Material, South Dakota. Here we go. I'm excited.
City, Melissa speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, Melissa, this is Jared over at Twin City Cartage. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Just enjoying a Friday. It's not snowing in Nebraska, so I'll take that.
That's good.
Hey, I was hoping I could talk to somebody in like shipping, or I'm up in Rapid City quite often with our flatbeds, and I'm just seeing if I can get set up with your company or talk to somebody about how they find their carriers.
That is me.
No kidding. Well, that's wonderful. So and this is out of the Piedmont location, because I primarily get into Western South Dakota.
Yes.
How do you obviously you're shipping out of there. How do you find carriers currently?
So typically, if we get too many orders where our 3 main drivers can't take some of them, we will reach out to brokers and try to get them to find truckers for us, or we also contact other trucking companies that we work with.
Cool. All right. Well, that's cool. I mean, do you have like as far as like how hot is it something where I'd like have a day, or would it be something that has to go out that day? Kind of, can you give me an idea on flexibility with, when you're trying to find a carrier?
So typically in the summer we get picked up pretty fast. But whenever I get an order in, it could be, usually if it's like Lowe's or Home Depot, I get them 2-3 days prior to when it's due. And then if my guys are already covered within those next 2-3 days, then I start contacting people like you and then trying to figure out if they have availability to take the load for us. And then we give you guys like the freight for whatever area the item needs to get shipped to, and then we set it up that way.
I love that. Well, that seems simple enough. I mean, we have 250,000 in cargo and 2 million, 1 million in insurance. Is there anything special on your insurance certificates or anything that you need?
I'm not quite sure. Here,
Okay.
How about I give you an email to send all your information to?
Sure, that'd be great.
That way, it's also connected to my. This email is connected to it's me and Andy, which is our. I cannot talk today. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's Friday. I can't either.
I know. I want to take a nap.
I get it. I kind of had a rough night, but I'm not going to get into that tonight. Today.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll just give you the email. You can send it. And then Ryan, our manager, will be able to see and look at it and whatnot. And then my other guy who knows dispatch will be able to kind of look into it. And then we'll add you to our list. And whenever we need information or anything, we'll just email you back.
Sweet. That sounds great. What was your name again? Is it Melissa, right?
Melissa, yes.
Melissa. And is that with 2 S's? Melissa?
2 L's, 1 S.
2 L's, 1 S. Man, I missed that one.
Correct.
I can't spell today, and you can't talk. So I mean, between the 2 of us, I think we're.
I know.
So Melissa, what's a good email for you?
Okay, so it's going to be Rapid City PO.
PO? Rapid City PO?
Correct.
Okay.
Rapid City PO at tccmaterials.com.
Cool. That's great. Hey, and your shipping hours up there and whatnot, are they fairly flexible?
So it's Monday through Friday is typically when we get loads out. Once in a while, our guys will take it on a Saturday, but it's not very likely. And then we usually work. I come in at 7:30, so whenever the trucks get here, they come into me, and I get them all the paperwork and whatnot. And then we close at 4. So.
Okay.
But it's usually surrounding areas. A lot of times we get Lowe's and Home Depot out in Billings. We get Gillette a lot.
You got any Scotts Bluff? You got any Scotts Bluff?
West.
You get Scotts Bluff. You get any Scotts Bluff or North Platte or Cheyenne?
Yep, we get Cheyenne, Sheridan, North Platte. Yeah, we get a lot of stuff down in that area too.
Sweet. That's awesome. I love that. How quick do you pay your bills? Just out of curiosity.
Pay our bills.
Yeah, like if I send you an invoice, how quick is it?
Whenever you send in the invoice, we just send it to the accounts payable. And then typically, our normal drivers say that it takes about a week to 2 weeks tops, depending on who gets it in accounts payable.
Sweet.
to
Yeah,
push it
as long as it's under 30 days, I'm good. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
awesome. Well, Melissa, I will send you over kind of our authority, just a little setup packet, and would love the opportunity to work with you guys. I mean, we're up there enough that it'd be nice to just be set up directly with you, and away we go. So.
Oh yeah, perfect. No problem.
Awesome. Melissa, have a great Friday. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll shoot you an email. Are you on the other end of this rapid PO at TCC Materials?
Correct, I am. Yep,
Awesome.
It's going to be me, Andy, which is our salesman, and our manager, Ryan.
Okay. Sounds great, Melissa. We'll send it over, okay?
Perfect, thank you.
All right. See you.
Yep, bye-bye.
Kind of hung up a little shy there. She seemed nice,
Really nice, yeah.
you know. And that one seemed really interesting. You know, she obviously works with brokers and was not afraid to talk about it.
Yep.
She works with carriers. You know, it just seemed to.
It sounds like she reaches out to carriers too.
Yeah, exactly. So, I feel pretty good about this one, to be honest with you. I think we'll be able to get set up with them.
Right. And I think this is where that consistency comes back into play, because she said how if the carriers that they usually have aren't able to do this, you know, they reach out.
Yeah.
Well, imagine you reaching out to them the day they need you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Just constantly keeping them in mind. That's a good, interesting point, especially as you're a carrier. You know, I think something that you can do to differentiate yourself as a carrier is sending her or sending any of your shippers, direct shippers, here's where my trucks are this week. If you need some help, let me know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good point, yeah.
And that allows them to, and here's where I would, you know, even to the point where I'm referencing the equipment, the trailer, the max weight, the different types of things that you have on it, such as, do you have tarps on that truck or not? Do you have pipe stakes on that truck or not? Do you have, you know, binders, chains, you know, V-boards, whatever it may be, right? So there's a variety of things that they could have, and it would just be important to, I wonder if he has this. Well, why even let them have that question when you can just put it on that sheet?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's fair. Good point.
So, I think the calls went well today.
It was, one of the best.
Yeah,
we've had,
it was really entertaining. A couple different people we can get set up with. You know, obviously, Nate, we are, you know, truly one of the best sourcing platforms. You can find brokers, you can find shippers, you can find carriers. You know, we just have a really unique platform that I've seen so many people grow their businesses from.
Right.
But they have to be willing to do the work.
Yep.
You know, we bring it to the table. You got to eat it.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So, I'm a big fan of eCarrierCheck. I love what you do. Nate, real quick again, you know, if they want to get in touch with us, how do they do that?
Yep. Just go to eCarrierCheck.com. You can see the banner below. Reach out to our support email. We'll get you taken care of, at least send you a demo. Like I said, it's free. You get to talk to us for free. We're pretty cool bunch of guys here. So, let's chat it up and let's see how we can crush your 2023 goals.
I love that.
As well as us. We got goals too. So let's talk about our goals. Let's crush it together. Let's, join us on a demo. Let's do it together. So
I love that. Guys, thanks for being on. Hope you have an awesome weekend. Have an awesome Friday. And